One. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Commoner series. This is episode 10. We're currently on Monarch. We've already gone through Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising, so if you're interested in any of those heroes, check out the links below. They all should be linked there. You know, Kano, Azalea, Prism, Rhinar, Bravo, Katsu, Vizorite, Dash, all the fun, everybody. Episode 10, we're going to talk about Chane. Chane's super fun to play in Classic Constructed, Blitz, and Commoner. He's currently LL in Classic Constructed because he's so good. And in Commoner, he's, pretty dang good. Now, these are only common cards and only cards within Monarch. There's no Everfest cards, there's no Crucible of War cards, and there's no Dynasty cards. This is just my bulk I had laying around the house. So we have 4 pieces of equipment that make sense for him within his own set. His weapon, Galaxy Black. And of course our Soul Shackle to get things go again. Now this is where we're going to deviate a little bit, because most of the time we have 6 class specific cards for 6 cards, 36 and 4 generics. But we actually have a lot of options in Monarch with our Rune Blades. So we have 6 Arcanic Crackle, 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 blues, 6 Rifted Torment, 6 Bounding Demigongs, red, yellows, blues, 6 Seeds of Agony. Seeds is just good. And then we got a little change. Instead of 6 Rift Binds, we just have 4. Instead of 6 Rip Throughs, we have 4. And then instead of 6 Piercing Shadows, we also have 4. Now, we have 4 generics. We could just as easily take out these generics and just include an extra Piercing Shadow, an extra Rip Through Reality, a couple Rift Binds. You could totally do that. You can make it all blood deck kind of deck so you're not missing, because if you Soul Shackle on your turn and you flip one of these 4 generics, you can't play it, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because you want those cards so you can further attack your opponent, but you don't want your blood deck getting too high, because if you have some cards you can't play, because we are lacking some go again unless you can pay for time skippers, but it's very dependent on the tempo of the game, and it being Blitz only having 20 life. Sometimes you just get stuck with 3, 4, 5 blood debt, and you can only play 1 or 2 cards out of that, so you just kind of die. But this is Chane. Chane's super fun, super cheap. I'm gonna put these 4 generics back here. This 40 card deck, $3-4. You can get it from someone from your locals for free. Someone rips open a box of Monarch. What are they looking for? Phantasmal Footsteps, Carrion Husk, Valiant Dynamos, Rouse the Ancients, a couple Prism cards. Everything else they're going to leave in the box. They're going to give it back to the store, or they're just going to throw it away. You can turn it into a nice Commoner deck. And the super nice thing about it, not only is it cheap, but it's actually really competitive. You can go against a Prism, you go against a Levia. These are all Commoner decks from my personal collection. Icelander, Azalea. We got a bunch of others up here, all competitive. If you've been grinding real hard, Classic Constructed, if you tried to make it to day 2 at Calling Indianapolis, you tried to top 8 or win your ProQuest season, or you're trying to get ready for Pro Tour, sometimes you just kind of, burn out and need a casual day. This is where these Commoner decks come in. Super fun, super competitive against each other. Would highly recommend it. Third, it's great to show new players what Flesh and Blood is. They come into the store, they say, hey, I've heard about Flesh and Blood. Maybe they're a former Magic player, a former Yu-Gi-Oh player, or they buy Pokemon cards. You can just give them decks. You can, here's a Prism, here's a Dash, here's a Kano, here's a Vizorite. You can have these completely for free. Let's play some games. I'll show you how to play. I'll show you what the equipment does. Work on attack reactions. Work on defense reactions. Now, this deck doesn't have any attack or defense reactions, but you can throw in some Paper Scenes or some Sink Belows, grab a couple Razors. If you're playing other heroes that like to swing big, you grab your Pummels. And you just kind of have some fun games, teach them how to play, and then they leave with free product, and they're excited to come back. Maybe when Outsiders come out, they buy a box. Maybe they buy more than 1 box, or they pick up random packs, throughout the next couple months, and they come back to the Armory and they want to win the Cold Foil, and they like the extended art promos. And now you're growing your community. You have a healthy community, and you're helping Flesh and Blood as a whole continue to grow and thrive. And I think these Commoner decks are a great way to do it. And this is episode 10, Chane.